Welcome back, Shalligators. I know, we're in a different room. It's crazy. Is it weird? Is it like seeing your teacher at the grocery store or something? You're like, you can leave that room? Probably. I'm having some work done downstairs, so I thought we're gonna come up to the theater. It's my little like Western room. And today we're gonna talk, I know, about Blake and Ryan. Listen, in my defense, I was totally prepared to do a completely different topic. I'm gonna do more videos this week so we can talk about other stuff. But you guys did suggest, when I asked you on Instagram, what do you want to talk about? Overwhelmingly, you said Blake and Ryan at Saturday Night Live. And one topic that came up, which I thought was so good, is what to do when people don't like you. Like, do not like you. How do you deal with this? We all want to be liked. Even me, who has really leaned into being the villain, it hurts when people hate you. Now, this is not going to be a sympathizer video for Blake and Ryan. They deserve all of the vitriol that's coming their way. We're gonna rant about it a little bit more because Candace Owens has some really interesting theories. But it really sucks. How to even know if people don't like you? Because that's a big question. How to read the room and understand that, like, oh, these people might not be my friends. This isn't going well. How do you get a good temperature check on what the vibe is? And then what do you do? We're gonna get into all of that and more. But I just want to say a quick thank you to my girly girls who just came on my Montana retreat. You guys, we had so much fun. It was just wonderful. Our little Galentine's weekend, it was so great. None of the girls had met before, but they all came in as like instant best friends because they've been talking in the Shallon entourage for months. And that's what that group does. It's really wonderful. We had a whole bunch of people join this weekend. And if you want to try it out, if you want to like see what our little sorority is about, come on over. And speaking of going places, girl, we're going to Paris. There's a few spots left. It's booking up fast. The trip will be upon us before we know it. It's starting in May 3rd through 10th. We're going to go to Paris and just hit the hot spots. I mean, this is a 5-star luxury trip. It's basically all inclusive. It's like 95% all inclusive. We're staying at amazing hotels. We're going to the local eateries, a lot of which are my favorite restaurants like in the world. So I'm curating a lot of this. We're doing a bike ride around Versailles with the baguette in the basket, that whole thing. We're doing that whole thing. It's gonna be spectacular. And then we go to Provence and we live our call me by your name, French countryside, white linen dresses, more baguettes, honey, lavender fields, dream. It's gonna be a wonderful trip. And you're gonna meet your best friends. Your best friend is coming on that trip. You might not know her yet, but she's coming. You deserve friends. You deserve adventure. A man is never going to plan a Paris trip for you. He's just not. And if he tries, he's gonna fucking bungle it, okay? I won't. So come with me. Get the deets down below, see if it's up your alley. I can't wait to see you girls. All right, let's talk Blake and Ryan. Oh, first, look at this, do you guys look at this chair? It's this brand Son. It's mid-century modern. Look at it. It's mid-century modern. It's an Eames chair. That's like a whole thing. It's like very impressive if you have an Eames chair. It comes with an ottoman. It's so comfortable. It's like grown-up furniture. It's really affordable though. So check them out. I reached out to them and told them to give me a link for you guys, but I love it. I just think it's so nice and so classy. It's hard to find comfy mid-century modern furniture. It's not really like my vibe typically. So when I found this piece, I was like, oh my God, this is me, but it's also clean and pretty. I don't look very clean nor pretty today, but we're here, we're doing this. Anyway, Blake and Ryan. These assholes. So they turn up at the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary gala and decided to do probably the worst thing you can when Ryan has claimed that his wife was so emotionally disturbed by Justin Baldoni's continued harassment and abuse that she couldn't even leave the house. She couldn't leave the house. Well, she's left the house and she's in a very uncomfortable dress, okay? She looked great. But he made fun of it. Here's the clip.
Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
First of all, I think by now we've all clocked Kevin Costner's viral reaction. He's like, and he also leaned down to peer at Blake to see what her reaction was. And a lot of people say like, oh, she looked horrified. I really don't think so. There is no way she didn't know about this bit. Like, this wasn't like an impromptu improv thing. This was planned. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler had their reactions. It was a bit, okay? Did he pay for this? This was the worst look, dude. This was the worst fucking look, Ryan. And you know why he did it? Because he's a narcissist. And these people cannot help themselves. The narcissist always has to have the last word, right? And the narcissist physically cannot handle the idea that people don't like them, that they're the bad guy. If you don't believe me, let's go back in our mind palace with the men we've dealt with who didn't break up with us. No, they didn't break up with us because that might mean they're the bad guy. What did they do instead? Oh, destroy us emotionally, gaslight us, manipulate us, intermittently ghost us, just take us down so bad, we basically had to break up with ourselves. We left them. And then they're like, what? My ex is crazy. Do you know that women initiate 70% of divorces? That's why. That's why. Because the men, they cannot be the bad guy. And that's just Kirkland's signature man. That is just factory settings man. They hate being the fucking bad guy. We send these ones to war. Why? Why do we send men to war? They can do that. Whatever. You add narcissism on top of that. Forget about it. Forget about it. You will 100% get behavior like Ryan Reynolds, where he cannot help himself. He can't not pull the spotlight. He can't just read the room and be like, people don't like us. You know what? We're going to sit this out, Blake. Yes, you have a bomb ass dress. Wear it to cook dinner for me and all the children that I made you have. We're not going to go. This is a bad PR look. From a legal standpoint, it's infinitely worse to claim that you're so incredibly distressed. It's destroying your family. It's destroying your work. It's destroying your health. But then like, LOL. I was talking with one of my friends in the Shallon about this, Marianne, and she's like, you know what? Like, if my husband, forget about a lawsuit, and Marianne is a lawyer, forget about a lawsuit. If my husband was making fun or making light of my sexual assault or sexual harassment, if I'd had that in my, if that was like a punchline to him, like, let's just take the lawsuit out of this. Let's take the lawsuit out of this. I would expect my husband to be my protector, right? Like, absolutely no one's joking about this. This isn't an LOL, okay? My wife was destroyed by this. This man like burst in on her with her boobs out, lactating. She was getting milked, for God's sakes, and he was looking at her. I think we all know by now that's not what happened. That's not what Justin Baldoni was doing, and he is not the predator and the monster that Fake Lively and Ryan Reynolds wants him to be. In fact, they are sorry, I keep saying fact, the monsters. Candace Owens has a very interesting theory. I mean, she is, if you guys haven't followed her, put politics aside, whatever, she's not even really talking politics anymore. Candace Owens is undefeated in this Blake and Ryan thing. Like, she's finding out things and making connections that I wish she'd been around when we were hunting for Osama bin Laden. She would have had him in like 45 minutes. But she's like, on top of this just being a horrendous PR and legal move to show up and make fun of the situation that is apparently so bad it's ruining your life, and you have to ruin another man's life to be compensated for what it's done to yours, but yet you can joke about it. She's like, I think he's showing up to stalk his ex-wife, Scarlett Johansson. Because again, like, he has to have the last word. He has to insert himself in things. This is the classic narcissist who needs control. Like, they're obsessed with control. They're obsessed with control. They're very dangerous people. It makes me kind of wonder, what goes on in that house, man? What goes on in that house? Why was Blake drawn to a movie about a woman who's getting abused? I don't know. You know what, though? I don't think she's getting abused because she was so incredibly flippant about this whole subject matter and issue. And I, for one, am watching any reel people want to send to me about what a lunatic she is. Anyway, what can we learn from this? Oh, I keep latigos. These are latigos. These are like rodeo ropes for like roping something and lassoing something. They're decorative. They're very hard. You can't lasso something with a loose rope. It's like trying to have sex without an erection. It just doesn't work. What can we learn from this? How to read the room. How to know when people don't like you. I think sometimes we overestimate people not liking us, right? We assume that everybody hates us. I would rather us go into social situations assuming everyone loves us. With this Elle Woods, what? Like it's hard? With that vibe of everyone's going to love me. Everyone's going to love me. I operate like that. I have like no, and not that I have no social anxiety, but I have no social stigma that girls are gonna hate me. I've always had good friends. I've been good at making friends. I mean, believe me, I have had absolutely my fair share of treachery. If you're in the Shallon entourage, you've seen all of it over the last few years in this town. And I think that's why it's hurt me so badly, because like, I don't see it coming. Like I don't scorch friends. I'm an extremely loyal friend. And so when someone turns on me, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like, what? I'm just like bamboozled by it. I, however, do anticipate bad outcomes with dating. So it's reversed. I would love to infuse you with a little bit of my like Delulu goo of everyone's gonna love me. Like, why wouldn't they? But how do you know when they don't? Are there telltale signs? Okay, first things first, we need to understand a few things about just human behavior. People are, since we're talking about narcissists, inherently very narcissistic. And listen, there's a difference between like behaviors that are like narcissistic versus an actual narcissistic personality disorder. Like they're two separate things. You want a very healthy degree of narcissism. This is my life. I need to look out for myself. I need to make myself happy. I am my own first priority. Fantastic. NPD is like, I must gobble up and drain the energy of everyone around me to keep myself propped up. And the stakes are incredibly high. If people don't like me, I collapse from within. I collapse from within. And so I'm going to abuse and gaslight and manipulate and drive these situations to get my needs met. And when someone is no longer useful to me, they're gone. They're fucking gone. They're dead to me. I'm on to the next. It's called literally narcissistic supply. They must constantly turn and burn, chew through people, chew through experiences to like prop themselves up inside. Cold-blooded behavior. It's the classic cold-blooded behavior. But we're talking about just the population at large. Self-focused. You would not care so much what people thought of you if you knew how seldom they did. If you are walking into a party assuming that everyone there is, number one, giving a fuck whether you show up or not. Number two, just waiting like a spider, like a coiled viper to jump out and judge you alone, to pick apart everything that you're saying, to then go home and continue to talk about you, and more you. Girl, I love you, but you gotta grow up, because that's not true. That's not true, okay? That might be true for like a person at that party, whether it's your ex-best friend, your ex-boyfriend, but still, kind of not even really. Why? Because everyone is too busy thinking about themselves. I say this because we cannot walk into social situations and assume everyone's here to think about me. I always say this about anxiety. There is nothing and no one more self-fucking involved than an anxious person, because all they're focusing on is, well, how is this going to affect me? What are they going to say about me? Me. Shut the fuck up. Dude, shut the fuck up. No one's actually thinking about you. I can't remember what I wore yesterday, what I wore. Do you think I remember what my best friend wore 2 weeks ago? I'm just constantly in Shallon land, and you're constantly in Kelsey land, or whatever. Like, we are all in our own lands. That is excellent news, okay? This is excellent news. Because that means when you walk into these rooms and you're like, oh, they either aren't going to like me or I don't think that they do like me, that is Delulu. That is more often than not true, because you're literally not a big enough deal. I know. And if there's something that like sticks in your craw about me saying you're not that big of a deal, okay, that's your ego talking. I love an ego, okay? I love my ego. It's like my favorite part of my body. And I really feel like it's an actual part of my body. Like if you cut me open, it'll just be there, covered in like gold plating. I'm not going to talk you out of needing to be a little bit of a peacock. I'm going to talk you into getting attention in the right way, okay? If you're like a little pissed that maybe not everyone's thinking about you, all right, there are ways to get people to think about you positively. Positively. The inverse of the victim narrative, the champion narrative. You're going to walk in there and you're going to be the happiest person at that party. You're going to be the most optimistic person at that company meeting. You're going to have the ideas, you're going to have growth charts, you're going to have, guys, we're going to fucking crush Q2. You are going to be that person. You want all eyes on you, make sure they're the right kind of eyes. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. I don't fault someone for needing to be the biggest star in the room. I just want you to be garnering attention from positive things that elevate other people, that are entertaining, that are uplifting, not your weird gender identity. You're policing jokes because Kamala lost the election. No, I won't say her name right because I don't care. You're talking nonstop about your health. You're crying over the same fuckboy for the 500th time. Nobody wants to fucking hear it. Nobody wants to hear it, okay? I want you to have a champion narrative that you take into these social situations. But let's say you do, and you're like, no, I am not misreading this. I don't think people like me. All right, here's some behavioral cues to tell you. What I have noticed, I mean, people aren't gonna be like, boo, I don't like you. Obviously they're not gonna do that. What I notice is a body language tick. Because listen, I live in a small town in Montana. I am a flashy motherfucker. And people genuinely don't like that about me. They like me once they talk to me because I'm a good time. But when I just walk in heels, good posture, I've got a fur, I've got a Chanel bag, this is the look. Okay? Maybe that was a little too subtle. Because these are pigeons, right? And pigeons have bad posture. Oh, I eat cigarettes. Oh. They straighten up and their chin, they kind of move their shoulder. It's almost like they're cracking their back or adjusting their back. You literally got them out of joint. It's that. It's almost a body roll. It's almost a body roll, like Mr. 305, okay? It's almost that. They stiffen, they bristle. It's a bristle. It is a natural shrinking away from you because you are a threat. For whatever reason, you're a threat. Now, it's up to us to analyze, why am I a threat? Am I the girl who's leading with policing everyone's jokes and talking about her body and her health all the time? I'm gonna say with you girls, no, probably not. I know you guys, you're wonderful, okay? But like, do some self-analysis. I know, it's the worst. It's the fucking worst. But it's infinitely worse to be disliked because you're just bringing up weird shit all the time. Like how about this? If you are walking into situations, social situations, kind of even work situations, but let's just focus on social for the purposes of this video. Because listen, at work, people don't always need to like you. And I think that can be one of the most corrosive things we can do in our career is try to be friends. It's like the reality show cliche. I'm not here to make friends. I would love it if I'm bonded with my coworkers. At the end of the day, I don't fucking care, okay? I'm here to get the bag and ascend and rinse, repeat, right? And God help you if you get in my way. It is better that I'm not friends with you because then I can judge the situation much more dispassionately and from a Machiavellian standpoint and take what I need to and keep it moving. So no, I don't want to go to Panera. Catherine, thank you. Social situation. Ask yourself, when you walk into a brunch, a dinner, a party, whatever, do you have like an agenda? We're gonna talk about Trump. We're gonna talk about what Elon's doing. We're gonna talk about my ex. They need to know. Do you have this thing in your mind about anything where the summation is they need to know? There's a time and a place for a good rant and a good info dump. You just got broken up with, for sure. Those are not the constants though. If you are going into situations with this, I'm gonna tell them, they need to know, you are probably the least enjoyable person at that event. You are. And post-election, I have seen this. I have seen this with my friends. They want to start a text convo. They want to leave a voice note. They want to get on the phone. And I'm like, I know what you want to do. I know what you want to rant about. I don't feel like doing. No, thank you. That is not for me. Why? Why is this so off-putting? Because it's someone talking at you. It's a monologue. I didn't buy tickets for this play, okay? I was here to have a dialogue. You share something, oh, I commented. Let me yes and that. Let me go back to the feeling that you're talking about. You know, the feeling of betrayal, the feeling of excitement, the feeling of curiosity because you're traveling, whatever it is. And let me expound on that. It's a ping pong game. You don't want ping pong, you want fucking racquetball. You're hitting something at a stationary object and it's bouncing back to you. You're the only one doing anything here. No. 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 That is a deeply off-putting person to be around. But let's say you're like, I don't think I do that. I don't. I mean, yeah, I've got my bad days, but like, that's a one-on-one best friendy, ranty thing. I'm just, there are people and they don't like me. Welcome to being an alpha female. This is the pigeons versus eagles thing. This is the pigeons versus eagles thing. And I brought up all those other icky potential scenarios because I want us to like check those off the box and make sure what we're dealing with is literally just haters. Just your garden variety assholes. Because you know what those people are? They're jealous. Here's another way to tell if people don't like you. They will trash your accomplishments, okay? They're gonna give you one-word answers when you try to talk to them. Again, make sure, what am I saying? Am I blabbing at someone or am I asking them about their day? Oh my gosh, you guys just got back from the Caribbean. How was it? Yeah, no, it was good. Is their body language closed off? Are they looking away? Are they crossing their arms? Are they turning their feet away from you? Their feet and their hips. Your feet and your hips, whatever they're pointed at is what the priority is, right? Men are likely to come over and talk to a woman at a bar, even if she's talking to someone else, if her feet and hips are pointed towards this man. This man over here will come talk to you, even if you're like this, yeah, and you're talking to the guy who just bought you a drink, because it's very hard to have your feet go in one direction and your torso go in the other. This is the soft underbelly of you. So you are pointing the soft underbelly and literally your mind's energy towards what's important to you. If you're at a party, if you're at an event and someone is pointed away from you, no, they don't like you. They don't. If when they talk, they're touching their mouth or their face, it's because they're probably lying. And they're trying not to, they want to physically like keep in the lie. The mind does not enjoy lying, but they're not wanting to be there. So they're going to like try to stuff this back in. Again, lack of eye contact. Here's another thing. This is a great little trick that I have done a lot recently to weed out fake friends. I will, whether it's true or not, I will have a decoy success. I call it a decoy success. And I'm going to tell you how to invert this for dating in a second. I will like pick, say my frenemy, say it's a frenemy, but I don't know if she's a frenemy. I'm just like, I just get a vibe. Maybe I've heard some things. I want to find out for sure what's going on here. Well, first of all, there's two different tricks. I think it was Jordan Peterson who said this. No, maybe it's Robert Greene. He's like, sneak up on someone, tap them on the shoulder, and when they turn around, that whatever that face is, it's called a micro expression. It's actually more of a macro expression, but whatever that initial face is, that's how that person feels about you. If it's, what is that? See, you take the expression and you keep it going. Oh, if you kept that expression going, it's a negative one. But if it's like, you keep that expression going, it's a positive one. You have to get real good at looking, it's like, to me that, these are not positive emotions. If it's anything less than, it's a negative. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So seeing someone's initial gut reaction to you is pretty accurate. But yes, the decoy success. Okay, so I will pick a realm that my frenemy has a goal in. She wants to lose weight, right? Like, oh, you just look so great. You know, I'm just so happy we're like both on this journey. I'm proud of myself. Like I've been off Ozempic for a year now and I've kept off 50 pounds. You're going to clock her response. If she is your friend, she's gonna be like, that's amazing, really? Okay, that gives me hope because when I go off it, I wanna make sure I keep the weight off. If she doesn't like you, she's gonna be like, oh, this is a tell. Oh, we are animals. And when someone does that, when they're suddenly showing their teeth, think about a dog. They're baring their teeth at you. Oh, yeah, That is not the same, as a smile. A growl shows these teeth. A growl is vertical, a smile is horizontal. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. Oh. You're gonna have to have some foresight about this. And it doesn't have to be super braggy, and it could also bounce a compliment back to them. That's kind of like level 2, because you can bounce a compliment back to them like, you look so great. They're like, yeah, thank you. I know. You have to clock their response. If it's hyper defensive, it just takes a little bit of observation. People are constantly telling us who they are and how they feel about it. How they feel about us, how they feel about the situation that they're in. No one's as slick as they think they are. We are all an open fucking book. The problem is not, there's no writing on the wall. The problem is there is, I'm choosing not to read it. My ego is caught up in this. My heart will be broken if I realize this bitch is not my friend. Okay, that's fine, but don't tell yourself, I genuinely don't know. If you can be dispassionate and if you can go into these situations thinking, all right, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do like the jump scare, see what their vibe is. I'm gonna do a decoy success. That's also gonna give me some data. And I am more than anything going to be brave enough to look that data in the face. Now, how can you reverse this for dating? Remember I said that? Okay. One thing that I do to get a temperature check on whether or not a guy likes me, I do a decoy crisis. Not like a catastrophe. My house is on fire, you know, the dog set the match. No, I don't do that. But something small, something that might very well be in his wheelhouse that he could solve. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do. Like, I think my garbage disposal is broken. I have no idea how to fix it. I feel like I have to call a handyman. If a guy gives you, damn, that's crazy. Oh, that sucks. Huh, wow, yeah. That man is not your man. That man does not care about you. He might not care about anyone. He definitely doesn't care about you, okay? Any man who is interested, be like, I'm a doer. I'm gonna fix it. I have had guys be like, I don't know how to fix this. I will figure it out and I will come over and I will fix it. Oh, you don't have to do that. I can hire someone. Even guy friends are like, you're not hiring a man. I am a man. You're not hiring a man. I am a man. Think of this like if the gender roles were reversed. If a guy's like, oh, I've had a bad day, would you be like, oh, wow, yeah. No, it sucks. Whoa. If you care about that person, you'd be like, oh, tell me about it. What's going on? You wouldn't tolerate if he's like, I guess I'm just going to go get a prostitute so I have someone to talk to. What? No, you're not. That's my job. I might not know how to solve this and I might not handle this the best, but it's no. Okay? Give a man a decoy crisis. A decoy crisis. If only I knew what to do in this situation, I don't know. Again, I'm sure that has come up organically in some of our situationships, and we just didn't want to read that writing on the wall. And it was there in real big letters, right? And we're like, no, he's just busy. Okay. Would you be too busy and let your man go to a prostitute? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So let's say you've done your data collection. You have read the writing on the wall and you're like, holy shit, these people don't like me. That was a very rough landing for me here in Montana to realize that, yeah, no, people don't like me. And the looks they're giving me are bad. And their feelings towards me are bad. And they see me as an outsider. And there is literally nothing these people hate more than that. Even a benign outsider who's doing nothing. They would rather come after with pitchforks and torches a benign outsider who's bothering fucking no one than a troublemaking, disruptive insider. If you're a Montanan, but you're breaking bottles over people's heads at the bar, that's fine. I mind my own fucking business in my house and talk to the internet, and I am a monster, the caliber of which they have never beheld. Okay. Now what? Okay, first things first. Girl, grieve. Grieve, man. Like, that is awful. That is awful when people don't like us, whether it's our sorority or our workplace. And I know. I said, you don't need to be friends with work. But what did I start this video saying? It fucking hurts, dude, when anyone rejects you. Because we're nice people. We are so nice. And we're fun and we're elevating and we're ambitious and we're smart and we're diverse and we're supportive and we're loyal. And when people reject us, we're like, it's so incredibly jarring and disruptive. It's horrible. And you do not need to sit there and tell yourself, I don't even care. Why wouldn't you care? Even if you don't care, you do care. And that's all right. You are allowed to feel the pain of rejection. We are tribal creatures. I say this all the time. We're tribal creatures. We don't want to get kicked out of the tribe. And it kicks us to our core because historically, if we got kicked out, it would get us to our core. We'd die. We couldn't make it through the winter. We couldn't get through childbirth alone. I mean, we would die. We needed a tribe. And when you feel like there's no reason why the tribe would be rejecting you, like I'm like you guys, you're not like an other. You're, for all intents and purposes, conforming. Like you're playing by the rules of the tribe. You're not some big fucking weirdo. Why are you being like this? Why are you being like this? Girl, that's a whole separate video. The pigeons versus eagles, they hate you not just for who you are, but where you're going. They hate you for where you're going. No one believes in you the way your haters do. No one sees a beautiful, bright, glittering future for you the way your frenemies do. No one. That's why they're like, wah, triggered beyond triggered. Triggered beyond. They have to push you out. They can't even see you. It's too much. It's too much. So step one, you grieve that. Because this is the burden of the alpha female is like, so wait a minute, this is the covenant of the nerd. I did all of this to be diverse and smart and loyal and blah, 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 all these other things. And let me see what my reward is. Oh yes, I'm completely rejected from this group. Okay. This is why I made the Shallontrage. I'm not even kidding. Like, I think on a subconscious level, I made it for myself because I swear to God, I felt like this rejection was coming here in Montana. I felt like it was. Or there was just like enough like little tingles in the atmosphere that I'm like, we need to get all these alpha bitches together because this ain't it. And if this is my experience, I bet it's a lot of other people's experience. And it's true. So if this is really resonating for you, come join us. Like this is the through line shared experience with all of us in that group. Whether you're married with 4 kids, whether you're a cam girl, whether you're a gay guy, like you have felt this. Yeah, that's step number 2. They're gonna hate you because they're not you. Because your normal is their never. Your normal is their never. They couldn't step inside your life, your loyalty, your self-awareness, your hotness, your posture, your confidence, your dreams, if they were a fucking Make-A-Wish kid. And that was even on the menu. They still wouldn't happen. Couldn't do it. They're rejecting you because of the contrast you are shining into their life. Blah. 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 Okay? Step number 3. This is something that I have really had to get comfortable with because I'm a public figure and people talk about me on message boards. They talk about me on Instagram accounts, on Reddit. This concept of what other people think about me is none of my business. I remember hearing that for the first time. I'm like, what? Like nothing resonated less. Like literally nothing resonated less. I'm like, what do you mean it's not my business? They're talking about me. They're talking about the social character of you. It's me, it's a social character, right? Every successful celebrity, and I don't mean successful in terms of how much money they make. I mean the ones that are emotionally successful. They are not crazy. They're not drug addicts. They're not spinning out and getting arrested. They are basically normal, healthy people living a normal, healthy life. They are uninvolved in what people think of them. And I think a good example of this is Kim Kardashian. I know people can trash her all you want. She takes the high road 99 times out of 100. 99 times out of 100. She's not clapping back. She's not releasing press statements, trying to correct the narrative. She's like, oh, I'm a whore. Oh, she just a sex tape, famous for doing nothing. All right. That doesn't bother her. I mean, of course it bothers her. Of course it bothers her. Who wants to be called any of those things? Of course it bothers her. But she throws, you want to talk about a decoy? She throws that avatar version of herself, that hologram of herself, out into the ether, into the public. Dress it up however you want. This little dolly that you get to play with and pose, she's a version of me, but she isn't me. I know who I am, she says. And Kim works very hard behind the scenes to be her own self. Kylie Jenner does this. The family is always like, she's so funny. And we're like, really? If you watch my Shallon's content, I did a seductive archetype breakdown of the entire family because they're all really good examples of different types. And Kylie is so interesting because we don't really know anything about her. Like her personality is lost to us. She's smart because she is able, like she throws that persona out into the world and people can apply whatever they want. She's like, I'm not getting involved with this. I am curating a self that is separate from this group, that is separate from the public. Now you might be saying, cool, I'm not a public figure. Like this is easier for them. Why should it be? Why? This is exactly why I do this channel and the topics with celebrities, because we can learn so much, both what they do wrong most of the time, but also what they do right very rarely. This is something that celebrities are very good at, very good at. In the age of the internet, you gotta be. If you're out there fighting every battle, that's not who I am. You need to know who I am. You drive yourself crazy. They want to think I'm that person? Cool. They want to think I fucked my way to the top? All right. They want to think I'm a dumb blonde? Great. They want to think I'm an evil influencer and I just take pictures in a hat and my pigeon toes, their ankle boots. Some of you guys have been asking. Okay, that's fine. Love me or hate me. I get paid either way. All right? Let people fight over your persona like two dogs fighting over a rotisserie chicken carcass. You're backing away from this. You are instead cultivating your own real life, your own real universe with real friends who do know you, who don't make you constantly fight to prove, no, I'm not like that. You don't have to say that, they know. People who value you. Experiences and habits, more than anything, habits in your life that prove to yourself who the fuck you are. People say I'm this vapid YouTuber. That's funny. I feed the homeless 3 times a week. The fuck do you do? And I don't flex on it as much as I could because I don't do it for the persona. This is not the rotisserie chicken carcass. Let them fight over that. Let them say that that's who I am. I do it to prove to myself, to build this wall of strength around myself, this wall of self-esteem so that when people say, you're just some dumb fucking influencer, I'm like, okay, I know who I am. I know who I am. You girls know who I am. I value your opinion. I don't care what these other losers say. I mean, you do. Everyone wants to be seen for who they are, but, well, everyone wants to be seen for what they want the world to believe they are. Does that make sense? Who we are, it's a circle, and the perception the world has of us, ideally are one and the same. We portray exactly who we are. The Venn diagram is just 2 overlapping circles, right? People like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, boop, they are miles apart. They think they're like funny. Everyone loves us. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Most of us, there's a Venn overlap. We want to be as close as possible, but there is some overlap. I'm a good person, I'm loyal, I'm funny. People be like, yeah, you are. And I'm humble, and I'm always giving the best advice. And I always take my own advice. Oh my God, does she think that about herself? Yeah, this is all of us. Like, that's fine. That's fine. This is our life's work, is to get that Venn overlapping. It's our life's work. It doesn't have to happen today. But just acknowledge that, like, hey, there's things that I think about myself that, like, almost no one agrees with. If that is what gets you through the night, to stop focusing on the people who don't like you and reorient your attention, your precious energy, your non-renewable resource that is time. If you can fuel that to reorient to the people who do love you, who do see you, live in that Delulu, girl. Why not? Why not? I'm an extremely socially Delulu person. As I said, I always assume people are going to like me. Why wouldn't they? I'm a likable person. Not because, I just have all this data from other girls liking me to prove it. Like, yeah, that helps. But because I like myself. So when someone comes at me and be like, I don't like you. I was literally walking through Walmart the other day. I had this big furry coat on. Yes, I looked a little like Macklemore, but I was just minding my own business. I shouldn't have been in Walmart to begin with. I walked by this old lady and I hear her say, she thinks she's somebody. I'm just minding my own, and I turn around, I'm like, leave me alone. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. Okay. But because I know, I am somebody. And this is irrespective of being a YouTuber. It's like, I am a good friend. I am a good daughter and a great girlfriend and a pretty bad wife, honestly. But I am mostly good things. And so I was able to brush that off. I was able to laugh at it because it's like, okay, like, what are you projecting onto me? It's so weird. It's so weird. But here's the last point, okay? The last thing that you do when you realize they don't like me. This is gonna feel wrong. I don't know, maybe it'll actually feel right. Maybe it'll feel extremely freeing. You're gonna stop trying to make them like you. And in fact, if you think they don't like me because I'm not getting married, or I'm not going to church because I hate it, or I am not somehow conforming. I am shining instead of dimming. You stop trying to dim, because I can tell you from experience, girl, I can tell you, I tried my absolute hardest to blend in here, and I swear to God, every time I do, people literally hate me more. They hate me more. Because they can tell why I'm doing it. They can tell it's coming from a fear place. Fear and desperation is the strongest smell in the world. We know this with dating. When you're like, please love me. Like, a guy can sniff that girl out a mile away. And a predator, a manipulative person, can hone in on that weakling like nothing else. And they're going to target you, and they're going to press, and they're going to use you for whatever they can. Ryan Reynolds. So instead, you're going to say, you know what, fuck you guys then. No, sorry that I have 2 eyebrows and no mustache, and I don't have like a date night beanie that I wear. Sorry, I'm going to turn it all the way up. I am going to be the most annoying, big, bright sunshine that they can possibly fathom. You want to hate me? You know what? I would love to give you a reason. Isn't that a kindness? I don't want to be mean to these people. You're not. That's actually the kindest thing you can do. They have made up their mind to be miserable. How benevolent of you to help them with that. Cruelty, the definition of cruelty, is to purposely deny someone the thing that they need most, right? Denying a dying person water or comfort. You're not cruel. No. To try to ameliorate the hate that's in their heart, how cruel of you. No, so you're going to dial it up. You're going to dial it up. And you're going to make sure that they do leave that party and they're like, can you believe she wore that? I know. I mean, You're going to turn it all the way up, bitch. because like I said, I've tried to turn it down. Didn't go well. Didn't go. I mean, no one liked me more. I don't know if they liked me. They did not like me more. Everyone could tell I was faking it. And that just dials up their predatory instinct. Oh, she's a weakling. She's faking it. She's trying to blend in. She's desperate. Sweetheart, I am the predator around here. I will not make myself prey to try to blend into a tribe that has already decided I'm not welcome here. If I'm not welcome, that's fine. My tribe is somewhere. It's not here. Okay. Very painful, very ugly lesson, very difficult writing to read, but I am brave enough to do it. And the fact that I'm brave enough to be like, all right, you people don't like me. It's not that like, ooh, this is a victim narrative. This might just be reality. And so I'm not going to keep trying and shape-shifting into whatever I think this office, this sorority, this family wants me to be. I'm going to go someplace where I don't have to shift as much. I'm going to go someplace where people are going to accept me more or less the way that I am. Let me know if this resonates with you. Like I said, if it does, come and join the Shallontrage. Like, seriously, it's just such a warm, welcoming place. Like, if you have just always felt like I'm doing everything right and yet things are not clicking, they click here. Like, you just haven't found your tribe. Don't worry, it's my tribe. Like, come on in. We talk all day, and I've got some amazing stuff this week. It's been some good stuff. I'm going to tell you about the most psychotic thing I've had a man do in a very long time. That's coming up this week. All right, ladies, don't forget my Paris trip is filling up. If you want to take some girl tribe vibes offline, come to Paris and Provence. It's going to be such a gorgeous trip. Perfect time of year. You deserve this. Like, every girl I've asked, like, why did you come on the trip? They all say kind of versions, same thing. They're like, I was just thinking, fuck it. I deserve this. Like, I'm not gonna have this opportunity. My friends aren't gonna plan it. My boyfriend certainly isn't. I'm tired of waiting to live. I'm tired of waiting for everyone else to give me the experiences that I want in my life. You don't have to. All you gotta do is pack a bag. I take care of the rest. Also, check out this brand, Son. It's beautiful, gorgeous mid-century modern furniture, affordable, and really, really well made. So if you're like at the point where you're like, I want some nice pieces in my home, but I don't wanna be eating ramen forever, Son has got you covered. All right, girls, check it out below, and I will see you next time. Mwah!